and we will be discussing more aspect about cloud security, how we can enhance our security posture and everything, right? And thank you very much to our sponsors, Microsoft and Pantera Technologies, for their generosity to help us arrange this kind of an event. So thank you very much, and thanks to you as well for joining us today. All right, so this is a one-day kind of a virtual event where you will get hands-on sessions by expert as well as the community leaders. Just for my demo, at least, I was just speaking like I lost access to my Microsoft Azure tenant, so let us see how much I can demonstrate. But yeah, I do have some videos wherein I will be able to cover up that. We will deep dive into the Microsoft Cloud Services, and we will be mostly focusing on to those security compliance on Microsoft Azure, Microsoft 365 platform, as well as Power Platform as well. So this is a day wherein you will be able to gain more knowledge, along with you can gift yourself some good prizes. So do attend all of the sessions with thorough attention, and then you stand a chance to win any of these prizes that you can see on the screen. All right. So thank you, and let's get started with our session for today, which is about Microsoft Security Copilot. Okay. So today that we are going to talk about how AI is helping to improve the cybersecurity with a new tool from Microsoft. It's not very new, but at least a relatively new tool from Microsoft, which is Security Copilot. So simplest thing is like cyber attacks. So they are getting very much frequent. Cyber attackers, they are getting very much smarter, and even we see more frequent cyber attacks which are happening at the organizations, and it is kind of becoming harder for security teams to keep up with that, and that is where the Security Copilot comes in. So what it does, it uses AI to help you find threats very much faster, investigate the issues more easily, and then take the action very quickly on that. So in this session we will look at like how Microsoft Security Copilot works, where it gets the information from, and how it can support your existing Microsoft 365 as well as Microsoft Azure security tools. All right, so this is what we are going to discuss in this session. Before we start the session, quick introduction. Myself, Nandadeep Natsan. I'm Microsoft MVP as well as Microsoft Certified Trainer from Pune, author of these three books, including SharePoint Framework, SharePoint Hybrid with SharePoint 2019, and Microsoft Viva Connection. And recently, I launched the Udemy course on SharePoint Framework. And onto the right hand side, here are a few of my social media handlers, including Twitter, LinkedIn, my blogs. So if in case you're interested to have more conversation, please give me a nudge and then we can get started with the conversation. Along with me, I have got Smita.
Hello, all. Myself Smita Nathan. I'm from Pune, India. I'm having total 17 years of experience in Microsoft technology. Recently got renewed for the fifth year in a MVP. I'm working as a M365 architect. I'm author of these two books, and these are some of my social handlers by which you can get in touch with me. Thank you.
All right, so let's get started with the agenda. So what we are going to discuss today is quickly like about the overview of Microsoft Security Copilot, how it gets the information. We will see the AI integration part into the cybersecurity, core functionalities which are carried out by the Microsoft Security Copilot, and what are the user experiences and interfaces that we have got when we interact with the Security Copilot. And then again, probably some kind of case studies, practical applications. Obviously, practical applications I won't be able to show since I lost the access to my tenant, but let's see. Okay, so probably let's start with a clean slate. Let's talk it very simple. We will not go very directly into the Microsoft Security Copilot and start looking into all those things, but we will start with very basics. Okay, so let's start with the basics of how Microsoft Security Copilot works. So what we will do is we break it down into the essential components. First essential component that we have got, obviously, user. Secondly, the large language model or LLM, and then obviously LLM needs to get the information from various data sources. Now that, for example, in case of this LLM, you can just imagine ChatGPT that we have been using. Okay, so what we do usually as a user, we send a prompt to LLM, maybe to ChatGPT, and this is where the process begin. And then we get the information or we get the answer back from the LLM. And again, this particular LLM has been trained on various or wide source of information which is available onto the internet from Wikipedia and everything, and we get the information. Okay, so that is the basic thing that we have been doing for maybe couple of years or maybe more than that. So now that let us switch to the context of security. So in the context of security, the process begin when a security analyst or a user sends a prompt to Security Copilot. So now that you can analyze this LLM maybe as a Security Copilot. So the prompt could be a question or a task like show me all the high severity incidents from last 24 hours, or maybe summarize the alerts which are related to lateral movement. So it is kind of a natural language input, and the user doesn't need to write complex code or script. So for all of the SOC professionals who are out there in this session, probably earlier to the Microsoft Security Copilot introduction, we were writing so much of queries, maybe KQL queries, PowerShell, all those things. But now that we can use that natural language, just plain English text, and we will be able to get the answers. Now that this is the prompt, but let's come in at the LLM part. So like what happens under the hood? So once the prompt has been received, it is processed by this LLM, which uses the mechanism. For example, we have got the system prompts, which is a predefined background instruction that sets the behavior and tone of the assistant. For example, focus on a specific security topic, respond in a structured format, and so on. And this is where also the prompt engineering comes into the picture. So all of the techniques are applied behind the scene to enhance the user's question for getting the better kind of end results. So for example, if the user says check suspicious activity, the system might enrich that with more details like analyze identity based anomalies across endpoints. Okay, so that is what prompt engineering can do. Along with that, even we have something called as function calling as well. So for example, if I talk to function calling in very simplistic way, earlier when the LLM or this chat GPT was launched, we probably used to ask the question like what is the weather in Pune or Bangalore or any of the city that you are based in, and then it wasn't able to give us the answer. Even as of today, LLM has got their training date, and beyond that, what has happened into the world, LLM are not aware of. And then there is a gap that needs to be bridged. So that bridge is something called as a function calling, wherein Security Copilot or at least this LLM, they can invoke some kind of an plugins or tools or APIs to fetch the live data and perform the actions. So in the context of maybe Microsoft Security, it can probably run KQL queries in Microsoft Sentinel, or probably it can fetch the incident reports from Defender, or maybe it can also trigger automation playbooks. So that is what comes under the function calling. And then obviously we cannot end our discussion talking of LLM without RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation. So before the model replies, it retrieves the relevant content from security data sources to ground it responses. So it does not just rely its internal knowledge, but it augments with the fresh real time or contextual data. And obviously to do that it will need some data sources. Okay, so these are the probably data sources that we have got. So let's say there could be various events and log. So what Security Copilot does, it uses data from broad set of native Microsoft 365 and Azure security solutions, which are kind of ungrounded using plugins or APIs to power the context aware kind of responses. So firstly, it can look into the events and log. So those events and logs can be referred from a Defender, Sentinel, or even from Entra ID, that is your Azure ID. Secondly, like it can get the information across policies and configurations from Purview, Defender, as well as the Compliance Center. Even it can fetch the information from threat intelligence and incident insights. Again, from Defender for threat intelligence, MDTI, or maybe Sentinel notebooks, or maybe even using GraphRag. And then there is a analyst context associated, which can be taken via nodes, investigation, or maybe shared insights. So these are kind of an data security copilot can access and reason over. So again, for example, if in case you want to say like why events and logs. So events and log, they have the information about all of the sign-in attempts, a device agent, system log. So from there, Security Copilot can go into and maybe look out for any kind of an alerts, or it can find out some pattern. And whenever it see like some patterns in is mismatching, it can give you the alert. So instead of your SOC professional getting into all those alerts, finding out the pattern, this Security Copilot can do the job, not just reactively, but again proactively as well. In terms of maybe policies and configuration, again we do have various condition access policies, DLP rules, which are made aware to the Security Copilot, and whenever it sees any kind of a deviation, it can report that. So mainly like what happens in this entire scenario is like when a user types a prompt into the Microsoft Security Copilot, this LLM processes its internally, expand it, optionally calls the external tools, and then it retrieves the real security data using RAG pattern that we have seen. And again, we are going to look into what are those data sources in depth, because we need to be aware from where Microsoft Security Copilot can surface the information. So now that let us look at those data sources that we have got, right? So these are the full list of data sources from where Microsoft Security Copilot can get the information.
So that Microsoft Security Copilot uses when responding to the prompts. So these sources are what the LLM puts from using the RAG to ensure its answers are correct, context aware, accurate, and tailored to security environment. So the Microsoft Security Copilot gets its insight from the two powerful security pillars. So first one is the Microsoft Defender family, and second one is the Microsoft Sentinel. So let's talk more about it in depth. So this Microsoft first one is the Microsoft Defender family. So the Defender family provides the detailed protection across the endpoints, email, identities, apps, and the cloud infrastructure. So the Security Copilot is deeply integrated with Microsoft Defender products, which cover the various areas of enterprise security. So the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint focuses on the endpoint protection and the response. So when it's come to the device alert, so warnings are triggered on the devices due to suspicious behavior. Device timelines, chronological views of activities on a device like processes, logins, and many more things. For the threat analytics, the insights into the global threats and how they might impact your organization. And when it's come to the vulnerability area, so the risk scoring, software exposures, and the patch status. Let's talk more about this Microsoft Defender for Office 65. It comes for the email and collaboration security. So email threat detections, that is the malware, publishing, and other things also come into this part. Then the phishing campaign insights, the pattern across the users or a time, and the user reported messages, that's the end user flagged emails for review. For the Microsoft Defender for Identity, it monitors the identity signals and the domain activity. So compromise indicators, which is suspicious login patterns and credential tape, then suspicious Active Directory activity, let's say for example unusual LDAP queries or privilege escalations also. And when it's come to the Microsoft Defender for cloud apps, so it secures SaaS app usage. So the app usage reports who is using what apps and how. Then the shadow IT data, so the apps used without IT approval, and the governance policies for the rules for mapping the app risk as well as the behavior. For the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, it secures the multi-cloud and hybrid environments. So the security recommendation, that are the best practices, and what are the misconfiguration alerts, then the secure score, a numeric view of your security posture, and the policy compliance, that is the status against the frameworks like ISO and many more things. So we have covered about the first thing. Let's see the second one, that is the Microsoft Sentinel. So the Microsoft Sentinels acts as a centralized analytics and the orchestration platform for providing the historical logs, incidents, and analyst-driven investigation. So Sentinel is a central hub for security logs and investigations, making it a key rack source for the Security Copilot. Let's check couple of things over here one by one. So the first one is the log analytics workplaces. So the raw logs, that is the ingested from the firewalls, endpoints, identity system, and many more things. For the custom KQL queries, so run the powerful searches or the detections via Kusto query language. When it's come to the incident and alerts, so it's merge the alerts, so grouping related threads into high uh, fidelity incidents and then the playbook status. So, did automation run? Did it succeed or fail? And summaries over here, that is the incident overview, severity, impacted users, as well as the timeline. When we talk about these notebooks, so the analytics investigations, so the custom Python or say KQL query script used by analytics and historical hunting data. So the what patterns or the threads have been observed before. Now let's talk about this Microsoft Security Copilot, how it retrieve the data using a RAG beyond the Defender and the Sentinel. So it includes the compliance, identity, and extensibility options also. So when it's come to the Microsoft Purview, so the Microsoft Purview handles the compliance, data governance, and the information protection. So the Security Copilot taps into these signals to assist with regulatory and the inside risk query. So for some of the key resources over here, the DLP policies and the violations. So the DLP, data loss prevention policies, that monitors the sensitive information. Let's say for example the credit card numbers, and the violations are like unauthorized sharing. When it's come to the information protection, so the usage of the sensitivity label, let's say for example confidential, and how users interact with them. When it's come to the audit logs, it records of who access or modified the data and when. So it's useful for the forensic and the investigation as well. And let's talk about this insider risk management. So the behavioral signals that may indicate that data exfiltration or other internal threats also. And for the communication compliance, so the alerts about the policy violations in the teams, emails, and many more things such as inappropriate content or the data leaks. For the Azure Active Directory, now it's called as a Microsoft Intra ID, is used to identify and access the management. This is a crucial for detecting the threats like identity theft or unauthorized access. So some of the key resources are over here. The sign-in logs. So who is signed from where, using what devices or the network. For the risk detection, for example, failed MFA attempts, sign-ins from unusual locations, or impossible travels as well. When it's come to the conditional access evaluations, so whether access was allowed, denied based on the policy, that is the device compliance, locations, and the user risk. And for the user and device attributes, so detail like a group membership, device state, privileges, so important for the contextual responses. Now, for the custom and external data via the plugins or the API, so the security copilots, it's extensible. You can bring it your own data to make the assistant smarter and as well as the more relevant. So why to extend it? So the custom connectors are there. So you can use the Graph API or the REST API to connect to the external systems like a ticketing, CMDBs, or any of the third-party logs. For the external threat Intel plugins, so it feeds in the data from the external threat Intel platforms like a recorded future and many more things. For the security wikis and the analyst notes, so the index internal documentation or the playbook that analysts refer to. And for the private knowledge base, so you can use the graph rack to bring your own documents into the rack pipeline. So this could be the PDF reports and many more things also. So with that, let's go ahead and see some of the introduction to the Microsoft Security Copilot. So the Microsoft Security Copilot is designed to enhance an organization's cybersecurity posture by utilizing some of the advanced technology. So let's have an overview of this Microsoft Security Copilot and how does and why it is useful. So let's say the first point is AI powered cybersecurity. So the Microsoft Security Copilot uses this artificial intelligence to help to improve how the organizations protect themselves from the cyber threats. So instead of doing everything manually, it helps the security team work smarter and faster by analyzing a huge amount of security data. The second one is the threat detection. So one of its main strength is helping you to spot the threats earlier. So it looks at the security alerts, patterns and behavior to give the helpful insight. So the security team can detect and understand the risk before they cause any damage to your organization. Then the automated response. So the security copilot can also help you to respond to the threats more quickly. So it supports the automation, which means there's certain actions like isolating a device or sending an alert can happen faster without waiting for a person to manually do everything. So, in short, Security Copilot uses the AI to make the cybersecurity work faster, smarter, and more efficient, helping the teams to detect the problems early and act quickly to stop them. So, with that, let's go ahead and we can see what is the purpose and the objective of the Security Copilot, and is to streamline the cybersecurity operations, reduce the response times, and empower the security teams with the actionable intelligence. So let's go all these points one by one. So the first one is the streamlining cybersecurity operation. So the security copilot helps make the security processes easier as well as the faster. So instead of manually going through alerts or logs, it guides the analyst with AI so they can work more efficiently and focus on what matters the most. The second one, it's reducing the response time. So during a cyber attack, every second really counts. So the security co-pilot speed up the time it takes to detect and respond to threats, helping the organization to fix the issues quickly and reduce to damage any of the things to your organization. It's also empowering the security team. So it gives the security team useful and smart insights like a summary, threats links, and investigation steps so they can make the better decision and act confidently also. It's also the proactive security approach. So instead of waiting for something bad to happen, Security Copilot helps the organization spot early warning signs and take the steps to prevent the attacks from they can cause a harm to your organization. So in short summary, the Security Copilot's main purpose is to help the security teams to work smarter, respond faster, and stay ahead of the threats by using the power of AI. So now we will have some of the key features and capabilities. We will discuss about this. So the Security Copilot offers the several key features including a real-time threat intelligence, automated incident response and enhanced analytics, and these capabilities help the organization for the better to manage the cybersecurity challenges. As you can see, there is a real-time threat intelligence, so the Security Copilots keep you up to date with the latest threats as they happen. Then the automated incident responses. So when something suspicious happens, Copilot can automate the response, enhance the analytics. So Security Copilot can analyze your security data and show you what's working and what's not. So with that, let's go ahead with the next. That is the diagram for this Microsoft Security Copilot.
So this is kind of a diagram which shows how Microsoft Security Copilot works behind the scene when you use it inside the Microsoft Security tools. Okay, and we are going to see like how we can use it independently as well as how it is integrated with the other security mechanisms that we have got, for example, Defender or Sentinel. So The Security Copilot works inside Microsoft Security solutions like Defender or Sentinel, and it uses Azure OpenAI to process the prompts very securely. So, in the first step that you can see, like 1 to 6 that we have got here. So, first thing is obviously user prompt. So, the security analyst send a prompt, for example, summarize the incident with the incident number. Then there could be plugin which will be used for pre-processing, which happens through the grounding, wherein Copilot uses certain plugins to fetch the data relevant to the request. Then thirdly, that prompt has been sent to the LLM, where the user's request is enriched with the context and is sent to the LLM, which is hosted securely into the Azure OpenAI, which is operated by Microsoft, obviously. And again, obviously, LLM doesn't store your data, and Microsoft ensures that the model does not train on it. Then, in the fourth step, we do get the response back from the LLM, where the AI generates a response based on the grounded data. And again, all of those responsible AI checks are performed to review the safety, fairness, quality of the output. Then in the fifth step here for the grounding, the plugin post-processing may happen, wherein the Copilot may call plugins again to take actions or maybe refine the results. And then the final output is sent in the sixth step, wherein it gives the final response and any kind of an actionable commands which are returned to the security product interface, for example, incident timeline or maybe investigation summary. So all in all, this is what happens. And this is kind of an flow which ensures like the AI powered answers are grounded with the real data and securely. All right, so with that, let's move to our first demo. Now that we know the basics of Security Copilot, how it works, how it interact with the LLM, and again, what are the data sources being used. Now that with that, if in case you want to go ahead and start using or onboard the Security Copilot, how you can go about. So right now you can see that I'm into my Microsoft Azure portal, and there is something called as securitycopilot.microsoft.com. So if in case you have not yet used this before, this is the link to remember. So since again you can see that I have not yet onboarded the Security Copilot, but that means I had onboarded, offboarded to show the demo. So first thing that we need to select here is obviously the subscription, because for example, if you have been working with Microsoft Azure, any of the resource that we create, we need to select the subscription, we need to select the resource group, and Security Copilot is again not an exception to that. Same thing, we will go ahead, select the subscription, select the resource group. One thing here is that there is something called as a capacity. Okay, so this is the capacity that we have to create. We will generate a capacity, and then all of the interactions that you do with your Security Copilot, that will be calculated against your capacity. So we just need to give some kind of a name to this. So I will just call it very innovative capacity one. All right. So after that, we have got the location of that prompt evaluation. So that means from where your prompts can be evaluated. Just that you need to show like, or we need to select which geography from where you will be able to get the responses. So right now here you can see that we have some limited. So I will just go with United States, and then for example, if you check this checkbox, that means if the location has got too much traffic, you are allowing Copilot to evaluate the prompts anywhere in the world. Okay, so it is recommended for the optimal performance. But again, for example, if you are very much concentrated around your regional data security or regional boundaries, probably you can consider to left it blank. So this is the capacity region that you will get. So right now in the US, we have got US East region available. After that, we can create a workspace. So workspace is again similar concept that we have been using with all of the other products as well, so that it will kind of logically bind all those units or all those capacity together. So if in case you want, you can create a new workspace, or we can use the default one. This is a place where we can give the provisioned security compute units. So we can use this, or right now I'm just setting it to one. And then again, there's a cost associated with it, which is around 4 USD per unit. Okay. And then again, for example, whenever there is a over usage, that over usage, if in case you want to go ahead after you have exhausted these units, this compute units that you have already consumed, in that case, those will be around 6 USD per unit. So if in case you want to save some money, like the demos that I'm showing right now, I will turn it off, and that's it. So after you do it, you can just click create, and it will set up your security capacity, and in short, it will also help you to onboard your security copilot. So here you can see that it has created the capacity, so we can select that capacity as capacity 1, which we had selected, and that's it. So we have our security copilot onboarded now. So let me just refresh one more time, and then we should be able to see the security copilot which is being configured. So again, for example, if you have used Microsoft 365 Security Copilot, this interface is quite similar to that. At the top, we have got those agents that we can create. We will be looking into it in some time. But again, here we have got various prompts, or this is something called as a prompt gallery, which includes all of the common prompts that can be used by the SOC professionals when they are interacting with their applications. So let's say, for example, we want to do carry out any kind of an incident analysis. We can simply use this prompt, like provide a summary of defender incident and the incident ID. Here you can put your incident ID, and that's it. So this is a prompt which will go to your security copilot, and it will fetch the information. So let's say, for example, you have been assigned onto any of the incident. You don't need to go through all the information about that incident by manually from you, but at least you can just take the help from security copilot, and it can give you the entire summary, like why this incident has happened, who were the actors, and everything, who affected, all those kind of a thing it can give. So these are all of the prompt galleries that we have got. At the same time, here we do have sources. So because we were talking about all the sources throughout our slides, so these are all of the sources that we have got. And from here, you can see that we have got almost 53 sources which are supported as of now. These are the specific Microsoft technology one. For example, the Microsoft Defender, Microsoft Entra, um, Intune, Purview, everything. So if in case you want to include or exclude some of the part, you can do that. So this is the toggle that you can use to get the sources. So these are kind of sources which will be powered to answer the queries for your LLM, or at least for your security copilot. At the same time, for example, if you have got integration with third-party applications, there are few non-Microsoft sources available as well. For example, if in case you are using Checkfish or maybe CyberArk, in that case, you can set it up. You can provide the keys that you have been purchased from those third-party vendors, and you can use. At the same time, for example, if you want all of the queries should refer to the public web, you can use it. Okay, so these are all of the things that you can do. And again, yes, we can create our own custom plugin as well that we are going to see in a moment. So this is how you will be able to onboard your Microsoft Security Copilot. And then onto the left hand side here, we have got menus wherein you will be able to see your sessions, because now that um, we are probably more concerned about how much it is going to cost us the money and everything. So all those information can be carried out from these sessions. Again, we do have this prompt book library, and if in case you want to set up any of your prompt, you can do it from here. Again, we do have the agents here. So these are various agents which are available. So if in case you want to have the agent integrated with the other systems, for example, for the DLP IRM, you can do it from here. We do have certain owner settings here. Now that, for example, we had selected some capacity, if in case you want to switch the capacity or maybe create a new capacity, you will be able to do it from here. While we set this up security copilot, we just created one unit. But now that, for example, if in case you want to change that, maybe go for higher units, or you want to include the overage kind of an units, you can do that one as well. And again, this is a place from where you will be able to offboard your security copilot. So if in case I go here and click delete the capacity, this is how you will offboard your security copilot. And again, these are the workspaces configuration that you have got. So that means all of the configurations can be done from here. Again, we do have the plugin settings, we do have the RBAC from here. So that means you can give the assignment, who will be the owner, who will be the contributor, and all those information from here. Again, you can manage your workspaces from here. And then the last important part about the monitoring, like how much you have consumed out of the units that you have allocated so far. And then from here you will be able to also view that billing into your Microsoft Azure. So if in case you think or if you want, if in case you want to track your billing, you can do it from here. All right, so now that let us go back to the slides, cover a few things, and then again we will come back to the security copilot. So now let us quickly talk about AI integration into the cyber security. So firstly, let us see what is the role of AI into the cyber security. So in simple words, it analyzes and enhances the cyber security by analyzing vast amount of information that we have got to identify the patterns and any kind of an anomalies and automate the routine task. So how it can do is it can do all the data analysis. It look at the huge amount of security data very quickly. Then it does the automation of the task. So many cyber security tasks, they are repetitive, time consuming, and this is where AI can help to automate those. It can also does the threat prediction. So it is not just about reacting to the threats, but it can predict them as well. Because by recognizing the early warning sign, it can help organizations to prepare and stop the attack before it can happen. The other part here is like how the Microsoft Security Copilot utilizes AI. So we have seen that, but this is just a kind of a summary slide wherein you can see like it does that AI threat analysis. It uses AI algorithm to analyze large amount of threat data very quickly. It provides the recommendation to the security team as well as it does the incident respond assistant as well. Okay, so with that, let me go to the demo. And obviously, as I said, I don't have access or I lost the access to my environment. But now that, for example, if in case you have the access, what you can do is you can simply go to the security.microsoft.com, which is your Microsoft Defender portal, and all of the incidents which are happening into your organizations, you should be able to see them here under the incidents. And then again, all of the incidences will be here. And then once you have onboarded your security copilot, you will be able to see those. So for that, let me just quickly play the video. Probably I will not play it fully to save the time, but this is the video which is available from Microsoft, which shows that core capabilities.
Microsoft's Copilot for Security is a platform that brings together the power of AI and human expertise to help security teams respond to attacks faster and more effectively. It can be experienced as a standalone application for wide-ranging investigations across an organization's security ecosystem, or embedded within specific products for contextual insight and recommendations. Let's see how these different experiences can work together to help investigate and remediate a ransomware attack. From the incident view in Microsoft Defender XDR, we can see over 50 related alerts and numerous entities involved. Understanding this complex attack is greatly simplified with Copilot. By analyzing the alerts, entities, and related events, it helps analysts quickly identify the scope, attack steps, and the recommended remediation actions. The Copilot incident summary guides our focus towards a PowerShell script. By navigating to that step in the attack timeline, we can find the script capture. Defender XDR has decoded the script, but understanding its purpose requires both time and PowerShell expertise. Fortunately, Copilot can accelerate this process and quickly analyze it. After a short amount of time, it provides a plain English explanation of the key steps in the script. This is just one step of the ransomware attack. Let's switch to the standalone experience to begin a more detailed investigation with data from other systems. The Copilot architecture allows us to seamlessly continue and build upon our session from Defender XDR. Let's start by adding an incident summary. Its comprehensive nature helps us understand the sequence of the attack and areas to prioritize in the investigation. Let's continue by extracting the entity information to share with other skills. We can do the same for the script analysis to round out the collection of IOCs. The website is most interesting given its role hosting the script. We can use Copilot to understand the disposition of the website via a reputation assessment. It can provide its opinion and will substantiate it with evidence. Copilot works with Microsoft Defender Threat Intelligence to conclude the website is malicious and presents links to support its reasoning. This includes evidence indicating a connection to a known threat actor. So let's ask Copilot to explain the group's ransomware tactics. Copilot identifies that this group partners.
All right, so probably I will not play the entire video, but just showcase like how it can analyze all of the incidents. Okay, because even this was the same demo I was planning to do, but since I lost the access to my environment, I won't be able to do that. But at least this is the link from where you will be able to see that entire video. But in short, Security Copilot will help you to analyze all the incident, all of the entities involved, and even take the action. All right, so now that probably quickly talk about few of the things, probably I will not go through the slides now, but maybe quickly think about the corporate experiences. So we have got a couple of experiences. First thing is the standalone, which I was showing here. So for example, even if I again go back to the Security Copilot and I go to the homepage of the Security Copilot. So here you can see that this is the standalone kind of an experience. So we open up the Security Copilot as its own app, and it brings all of the security use cases into the workplace, like incident, threat, um, response actions, and everything. So this is the place from where you will be able to go ahead and execute all of your prompts. Second thing or second experience, as we just have seen into the video, that is called as an embedded experience, wherein Security Copilot is also built into the tools to help your team to use the ready platform like Microsoft Purview, Defender for Endpoint, and all those things. All right, so with that, let's go to the another demo. Like for example, if you want to extend the experiences, how we can do that. So in that case, quickly what you can do is you can click here uh, to all the sources, and here we do have got custom. So in this case, you can go ahead and then you can upload the plugin here. Okay, so for that again, there is a Microsoft website which I can get a reference to. So what you can do is here is the website that we have got from Microsoft, which is for maybe plugin GPT. So you can get this code as it is. You can modify as per your need, and then you can upload that manifest to your security plugin, and then you will be able to use that plugin as well. All right. So these are kind of things which will help you to use Security Copilot as well as extend them if necessary. Even I have shown you like how to uh, offboard the Security Copilot. So just to wrap up the session, these are the conclusions. Like Microsoft Security Copilot, it presents the transformative approach to the cybersecurity by leveraging the AI technology. It also features a user experience and the real world application to show the potential to significantly enhance the cybersecurity efforts across the various organizations. And with that, I guess we are right on time. So thank you very much for joining us today. Sorry that I wasn't able to show you the live demos, but at least I hope that I was able to show you the capabilities what Microsoft Security Copilot carries. All right. So with that, thank you very much once again. Thank you to all the audiences, and thank you to our sponsors. And back to you, Firoz.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nadeep and Smita, for your rocking sessions. It was really interactive. And others participants, if you have any questions, you can post it on the chat. We have Nadeep and Smita who will be answering.
Yep. Thank you.